Welcome to the Deal Doctor live stream. Today we've got a couple of special guests. We've got Connor Pilmore and Jeff Nichols, and they're going to help me kind of put me on the hot seat today as I share with you how to work on expired listings, how to prospect for expired listings. Now, some people say that there aren't expireds, and I'll go back to many, many years ago, several decades. And March 6, 1989, I went full-time into the real estate business, and I needed to generate income quickly. I focused on one thing, and that was expired listings. And for 20 years or more, over the course of that, I sold several hundred listings that had gone on the market and did not sell. And in 2008, a lot of agents were saying there aren't any expired listings because if they owe too much on the house, they can't sell them. Well, even in 2008, there were expired listings. And surprisingly, there are expired listings today. If you look at the expired listings, if you run a search on Flex, you will discover since 1st of April, there have been more than 3,000 listings which have expired. Now, some people say, but if they're expired, they're overpriced. Yeah, and that's always been the case. That's why they need you. That's why they are good, fertile ground for prospecting. What if you can convince sellers to make their home both marketable and price it competitively? Real estate has changed a lot over the last 30 years, and it's a little bit more difficult. In fact, it's a lot more difficult to get the phone numbers. There wasn't the do not call list. People weren't all on their cell phones, but there are always expired listings, and there are ways to find their phone numbers. And if that's the first question you have, where can I find the seller's phone numbers? Go to YouTube. Search Kevin Ward, where can I get FSBO and expired leads and phone numbers? Kevin Ward, where can I get FSBO and expired leads and phone numbers? That's on YouTube. Don't search Google, search YouTube. And what you'll find is there are a number of sources. There's Vulcan 7, the Red X. I've used the Red X successfully. Land Voice, Mashboard, Art Agent, Lead Senders, Espresso Agent, MyPlus Leads. There's a whole bunch of them. When you decide to prospect for expired listings, there are certain basic premises you have to really believe in. Number one is working expireds is not an art form. It is a process that anyone can learn. Becoming proficient at it takes practice. So buddy up and practice until you get good at the process. And the process has to do with dialogue. More on that in a moment. Sit in their chair. Understand where they've been. Remember that you're going into their space, into their frame of mind, and they are angry, disappointed, frustrated. They feel powerless about selling their home, so they're going to take it out on you. They always do. It's not personal. If you take it personally, you're going to burn out very quickly on working expires. Or the alternative is you can say, hot dog, everything's going normal. That's the way it goes, okay? Get in the door honestly. Never hint that you have a buyer for their home unless you really do. If you bring someone through and they don't buy and you've suggested that they're a buyer for your home, you're going to lose credibility by doing that. Mentally prepare, and I can't stress this enough, you have to get in your own space, into your bubble, breathe, relax, focus, eliminate all the distractions, and be empathic. Sellers are like a big balloon filled with the hot air of emotions. That analogy is pretty close, actually. You're not going to be able to have a conversation, a dialogue, until you deflate that balloon, until that balloon is empty. Never become defensive. Never argue your point. The objective here is to listen, take notes, and really understand their frustration. It's not about you. And once that balloon is deflated, you can begin to gather information. The 5 key questions. Can we put 5 key questions up on the screen? Yeah. Do you still want to sell? When your home was on the market, do you have any idea of why it didn't sell? The phrasing is important there. How did you arrive at your price, number 3? When you put your home on the market, what were you hoping to accomplish? And number 5, what will it do to your plans if you're unable to sell? Those are the key questions, and in that order, to get answers about their motivation and about things that you might be able to change for them to have a different outcome. So again, do you still want to sell? Number 1. When your home was on the market, do you have any idea why it didn't sell? How did you arrive at your price? When you put your home on the market, what were you hoping to do? And what will it do to your plans if you cannot sell? These are the 5 basic questions in building a dialogue. Each one could lead to specific questions, and you're going to watch how that dynamic plays out in our conversations with Jeff and Connor here in a minute. But be flexible, relax, make the words yours, have a conversation. So, with no further ado, let's get started. I've chosen a couple of expired listings, and I'm going to give them a call. Jeff, this one's for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is on 6243 Sheldon Oak Drive in Hudsonville. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, is this Jeff?
It is.
Hey, Jeff, this is Don Phelan, 5-Star Real Estate. I was calling about your house at 6243 Sheldon Oak Drive in Hudsonville. I'm curious, are you still looking to sell that?
Maybe.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. Is that a yes, or is that a no?
Well, possibly. Our plans have changed a little bit. We were in a different mode when we had it up for sale, and I don't know. We might move south, but we might just go visit friends and family south. We don't know yet. I mean, we were excited to get it sold at first, and just the whole entire process just wasn't what we expected, and surprised it never sold. So.
Yeah, well, it looks like a lovely house. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't sold too. I'm curious, when you put it on the market, do you have any idea why it didn't sell? I mean, you said it, you were surprised, but did you get any inkling about the reason why you didn't get any offers or acceptable offers?
Well, we have our thoughts. I mean, it's a beautiful home in a nice neighborhood, and we thought we had it priced right. Mm-hmm. And, we used a discount broker assist to sell, and that was, could have been part of the problem. I didn't think we got very, very good service after they stuck the sign in the yard. It was like, I think everything, they were communicating very well before the process started, but once the sign went in the yard, it just seemed like, there wasn't many showings. Didn't seem like a lot of interest. I don't think they did a lot to market it, but.
Yeah, well, if I can follow up that one, I'm curious, how often did they contact you after you had signed up? They put a sign in the yard. Did they contact you with the number of showings or number of people who were looking at it online? How often did you talk with them?
Not very responsive. A text here and there. That was about all we got, and it just kind of felt like we tried to save some money. That was probably a mistake, but still felt like we had a price right, beautiful home. We had it all ready to go. Yeah. Just I thought maybe it was lacking in the service from the agent.
I'm going to take a pause just a second. I'm going to look at the camera and explain. This is the number one, when I was working expires, this was the number one complaint of people who had their houses listed that didn't sell. Their agent didn't stay in contact with them. Make a commitment when you get a listing to call your client every Monday and let them know what has happened over the last week. You will save more listings by doing that, and people who lose listings do so because they have not stayed in contact. Moving on, back to Jeff. When you had your house on the market, how did you? I'm just curious. How did you arrive at your price? We got a $395 on this. I'm just curious. Can you tell me?
Yeah, we had some neighbors that sold theirs a couple doors down about a month before we wanted to sell, and you know, they're comparable homes as far as square feet and bedrooms and style, both ranch style walkout. So we told the agent what we wanted to list it for. He said, "Sounds good to me," and that's what we did.
Okay, you said it was like your neighbors. How much did they sell theirs for? Do you know?
270, I believe.
Okay, fair enough. So the point is, I now know that there's like a $125,000 difference in their mind between their house and the other house down the street that sold. I'm curious now, in my mind, I'm not going to bring it up right at the moment, but whether or not they had really sturdy shelves or heavy-duty nails. What was the difference? But we're going to get back to that in a minute. Jeff, when you put your house on the market, what were you hoping to do? You mentioned something about visiting family, or you weren't sure what your objective was now. But what was it when you put your house on the market? Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, we were planning to move south and be with family and friends closer to them. And then, you know, when it didn't sell, I guess they changed a little bit. I think, well, can we just vacation down there? Do we really want to move? You know, your whole mindset changes. And do you have a buyer for me?
Well, where's south? I'm just curious.
In Florida.
Florida? What part of Florida?
Gulf Coast.
Gulf. Okay, you're a Gulf sider.
Sarasota area.
Oh, it's a beautiful area. Now, how far south of there is Sanibel Captiva? That's down more by Fort Myers, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm sorry, you had a question. I missed that. Say, if you would again.
Well, do you have a buyer for us? Is that why you're calling, or what's?
I haven't. I don't know. I haven't seen your house, but I'm trying to identify how, if I can help you, and how I can help you. And I don't want to, promise you something and tell you that I have a buyer that would be a good fit for your house when I'm not sure that that's true. I don't want to let you down later by telling you something now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a tough question, Jeff, and forgive me, but again, I want to find a way I can help you. But what would it do to your plans if you didn't sell? If you found out that you could not sell, what would it do?
Well, I mean, we'd probably wait and then just vacation down there and visit them until, things change. And it's kind of a weird market, so we're not sure what to do. Rates have gone up, and we're wondering if the buyers are still out there. There's a lot of questions we have, but we'd probably just vacation down there and take our time doing it. But if we could sell now and get a good price, yeah, we'd sell.
Okay.
And then what we were going to do is just stay with our family down there and then look around and see what we could find. And we have a place to stay till we find a home down there.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, and forgive me, I may be going a bit far afield here, but I don't know. Have you ever thought about staying down there and leaving your home up here on the market and having it be more convenient where showings could happen all the time? Have you ever given that some thought?
I never thought of it, no.
No. Okay, fair enough.
Never thought of that. How would that work?
Well, that's something I'd love to share with you in a face-to-face, because I think we could really share some thoughts with you. It sounds like you still want to sell. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so.
If the right circumstance presented itself, you'd feel like you still want to sell?
Yeah, I think so, possibly.
Yeah, and it sounds like with some tweaks in the marketing plan and communication between you and your agent, that you might have better success in selling, that you still have some motivation to be down in Florida, and we might be able to find a way to make that even a plus in your situation. Based on all of the information I've shared with you and talked with you about, do you feel comfortable at all in maybe getting together for half an hour, 45 minutes face-to-face with you and your wife? I presume you're married appears that way on the listing card. Does that work for you at all?
Well, what's your commission, first of all?
Well, I'd love to share with that with you. And let me explain that my commission is based in large part on how marketable I find the home to be. So if I go into a house that's in immaculate shape, perfectly marketable, I'm probably going to reduce my commission a little bit because I know that it's going to sell more quickly. So I'd rather hold that conversation, if you don't mind, until we meet in person and have had the opportunity to see your house in person. Does that make sense?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. So would you both be available, what about tomorrow night? Would 7 or 8 be better? Or would Wednesday work for you?
Wednesday's better probably for both of us.
Okay. 7 good?
Yep, that sounds good.
Great. And before I leave you, would you do me one favor? Can you tell me if there's anybody else you're talking to about selling your house, or am I the only one you're making an appointment with?
Well, my wife has a friend that is in real estate as well. We didn't contact her because, I guess we didn't want her knowing all her business, but she's talked to her a little bit about it, but I'm not 100% sold on working with, she's with Keller Williams, and I've never really heard good things about them. But.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go down that road, but I do want to have that conversation with you about the pluses and minuses of working with folks versus someone that has complete confidentiality. So I'll plan to see you tomorrow, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, and I look forward to seeing you then.
Sounds good. Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Jeff. See you then.
Bye now.
Now, he shared a lot of information. In fact, he shared the information that I need to be prepared for another agent going into this thing. And that agent may have a relationship connection with his wife, and he doesn't necessarily feel comfortable. So I'm going to be prepared to encourage them to list with somebody who doesn't know their business, who's not a personal friend. So anyway, I hope that one helps, and I want to get to Connor because we have another one, and we're going to take a run at that. Are you ready, Connor?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Don Phelan, 5 Star Real Estate. Is this Connor Pilmore?
Yeah. Did you say Dan? Your name's Dan?
Name is Don. But you know what, Connor, you can call me whatever you like. If Dan's close, that's close enough. Fair enough?
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
What's going on? What did you call me?
I was calling because I noticed that your house on Palmdale was for sale. It looks like the listing ran out. I'm just curious if you still are looking to sell it.
I'm not sure. We were kind of looking to sell it, but I'm not sure that we are anymore.
Yeah. Well, help me understand that if you don't mind. You were, when you put your home on the market before.
Well, yeah, we bought it, a while ago, like mid-2000s or something, and we tried to sell it a couple times over the past few years. Just doesn't seem to be moving, so I don't know. We're maybe thinking about just staying instead.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm curious, when you put your house on the market, what did you hope to accomplish? What was your goal when you first put it out there?
Well, to sell it and get some money for a new house. Got to live somewhere.
Yeah. So, but did you want a bigger house, smaller house, moving out of town? What was?
Some of our friends live over in Ada, and we like the school districts over there a little bit better than Wyoming. So we were hoping to maybe move over into the Forest Hills School District, but I don't know. Kids have their friends here already, so I'm not sure that we're really looking to move anymore.
Yeah. Well, I understand that, and I certainly don't want to encourage you to sell a house if you're not, if you've lost the interest. But I guess my question is, when you had the house on the market before, do you have any idea why it didn't sell?
Yeah, I don't know. We got an appraisal, and it came in at over 400,000, and we listed it at 380, figuring that was a pretty good price, and we probably get a lot of, with the market being so high right now, we figured we get a lot of traction, pricing it even below the appraisal. We provided the appraisal and everything. We thought we'd at least get that offer, but nothing came in.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. It's a great thing that comes to mind. When you had that appraisal done, did they do the appraisal for market price or, for example, mortgage value? Did they specify what the appraisal was going to be based on?
I don't know. I just called my bank that I had my mortgage through, and I had somebody come out, so I guess I'm not sure.
Yeah. This is a really good point. This is really important, folks, because very often they'll get an appraisal that is really not reflective of the current market value. Now, in this market right now, I will tell you that many appraisals are too low based on the market value, but you already know that. So, back to Connor. So the way you arrived at your price was through an appraisal which didn't turn out to be necessarily accurate. Is that what I'm understanding?
I don't know if it wasn't accurate, but we priced it a little under the appraisal, thinking we could get some extra traction there. So I don't know.
Yeah. When you had it on the market, and you obviously had a price right based on the appraisal, I would tend to agree with that, and you had some idea about where you wanted to go. Do you have any idea why it didn't sell? What held buyers back? Do you know?
I don't know. Well, one of the reasons why we priced it under the appraisal is because we've got this red carpet that's pretty old that we never replaced when we moved in.
Bing, bing,
and
bing, bing, bing,
there's some
bing,
carpet in a bathroom that we just didn't really want to do the work and replace it, so we just priced it a little lower than the appraisal.
Okay. So would you... I don't want to go down this road if you're really not interested in selling, but if you still have even an inkling of wanting to sell, then I'd like to ask a favor of you. Would you help me understand where you're at with this? Would you even consider...
Well, I don't know. I mean, our last realtor, he cut 1% off his commission. I thought that was pretty good. I've kind of thought about for selling by owner, maybe save myself a little bit more. I could go even a little lower on price to get more traction and still get the same amount out of it.
Yeah.
So maybe I might still sell. I'm looking at some options.
Yeah. If I could show you without a shadow of a doubt why your house didn't sell and fix that problem for you, would you even think about selling? Hold that thought, Connor, hold that thought. The reason I'm asking this is I know exactly why his house didn't sell. At this moment, I know exactly why his house didn't sell. The red carpeting, the carpeting in the bathroom, this house is outdated. He just told me that in great big loud letters. Now I have to find a way for him to allow me to come in and share information about making his house more marketable. That's where I'm going. Connor, back to you. So, if I could show you without a shadow of a doubt that I could fix the reason that your house didn't sell and help you go ahead with your plans to move out to Ada, would you even think about giving me 5 more minutes to chat?
Well, I mean, what's the reason? Sounds like you know. What's the reason?
Well, I'm going to ask you to do me a little favor. Would you be so kind?
All right, what is it?
Okay. I want you to take me on a walking tour of your home. Start at the front door, and whether you go out there or you imagine it in your mind, it doesn't matter. But take me on a walking tour of your home from the front door into the kitchen, living room, family room, basement, whatever. I want to see your home in the way that buyers saw it. Could you do that for me?
You want to come over and look at the house?
I'd love to. How about tomorrow? Are you available at 7, or would 8 o'clock be better?
Tomorrow? Actually, you know what? I do think I can do that. I could probably, yeah. What time did you say? 7?
It works for you? It works for me.
All right. I mean, how long is this gonna take, though? I mean,
Give me
it's gonna be late.
45 minutes tops.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. I think I'll have some information you'll find helpful, okay? I will see you then. Okay, now, that's a technique that I've used many times when I get them to the point of agreeing to a meeting, is I'll actually have them take me on a walking tour of their house. And I found in one situation, I remember very well, they got to the basement and they said, and there's these little windows in the basement, that fully finished basement. And I said, what do you mean little windows? And they said, well, do you mean the ones way up at the top, or do you mean the ones that come down to about your waist? And they said, well, down to about your waist. And I looked at the listing card that I had in front of me, and it said full basement, not daylight basement. And so I said, well, if I can tell you exactly the reason why your house didn't sell, and I could sell it for the same price you had it listed for, would you even think about talking? I was over there within 2 hours. I listed the house that had been on the market unsuccessfully for 1 year. I sold it in 1 week, full price. So I'm telling you that if you can discover the reason that these houses aren't selling, you will make a bunch of money. A bunch of money. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you noticed it, but I completely avoided Connor's question about commission, didn't I? Now, I had an answer for it, and I would have gone there if he'd come back to me. So be prepared, be loose, be able to move and have a conversation. A guided conversation that will take you through the process. I hope this helps. Connor, Jeff, thanks so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.